On January 15, 1947, Betty Bersinger discovered a human body cut perfectly in half and completely drained of blood in a vacant lot. On January 15, 1947, Betty Bersinger was walking with her 3-year-old daughter through a vacant lot in Leimert Park when she spotted what she initially thought was a broken department store mannequin lying in the grass. But as she got closer, the horrifying truth became clear. This wasn't plastic and wire. This was a human being, mutilated beyond recognition. The body had been completely drained of blood, bisected at the waist, and positioned with arms above the head and legs spread apart. The face had been slashed from the corners of the mouth to the ears, creating a grotesque Glasgow smile. But that wasn't even the strangest part. The victim was 22-year-old Elizabeth Short, an aspiring actress who had come to Hollywood like thousands of others, chasing the dream of stardom. Born in Massachusetts, she had striking black hair and always wore dark clothing, earning her the nickname that would forever be tied to her death, the Black Dahlia. Elizabeth had been living a transient lifestyle, staying with friends and acquaintances throughout Los Angeles. She was last seen alive on January 9, 1947, at the Biltmore Hotel downtown, where she had been waiting to meet her sister. But she never made it to that meeting. What happened during those 6 missing days would become one of the most investigated mysteries in LAPD history. The crime scene told a chilling story. Whoever did this had medical knowledge and had taken their time. Remember that detail about the surgical precision. It becomes crucial later. The LAPD launched the largest investigation in the department's history up to that point. Over 750 investigators worked the case, interviewing more than 150 suspects and following up on over 3,000 tips. The media dubbed it the crime of the century, and newspapers across the country ran daily updates. But here's where things get disturbing. The killer seemed to be playing games with the police. 3 days after the body was discovered, the Los Angeles Examiner received a package containing Elizabeth's birth certificate, social security card, and her address book. The return address read Heaven. The items had been soaked in gasoline, presumably to destroy fingerprints. Then came the phone calls. A man claiming to be the killer called the newspaper, saying he would turn himself in. "I killed the Black Dahlia," the voice said. "I'm going to turn myself in." But he never did. What the caller said next would haunt investigators for decades. The evidence painted a picture of someone with both medical knowledge and a deep psychological disturbance. The bisection of the body was performed with such skill that investigators believed the killer had surgical training. There were no defensive wounds on Elizabeth's hands, suggesting she knew her attacker or was incapacitated. The body had been washed clean and drained of blood elsewhere, then transported to the vacant lot. But the most disturbing detail was the positioning. The killer had carefully arranged the body as if it were an art installation, designed to shock whoever found it. Detectives discovered that Elizabeth had been tortured for days before her death. Rope marks on her wrists and ankles indicated she had been bound. The killer had carved the word BD into her thigh, Black Dahlia. But when investigators started following the medical angle, they uncovered something that would change the entire direction of the case. Dr. George Hodel emerged as the most compelling suspect, and the evidence against him was staggering. Hodel was a prominent Los Angeles physician who lived in a mansion in the Hollywood Hills. His own son, retired LAPD detective Steve Hodel, would later spend decades building a case against his father. The evidence was circumstantial but damning. George Hodel had the medical knowledge to perform the bisection. He knew Elizabeth Short personally, and he had a history of violence against women. In 1949, he was tried for molesting his own daughter but was acquitted. Most chillingly, in the 1940s, the LAPD had actually bugged Hodel's house as part of the investigation. In the recordings, Hodel can be heard saying, "Supposing I did kill the Black Dahlia, they couldn't prove it now. They can't talk to my secretary because she's dead." But the recordings were never used in court. Why? The answer reveals a corruption scandal that goes to the very heart of 1940s Los Angeles. The real twist isn't just who killed Elizabeth Short, it's why the case was never solved. Steve Hodell's investigation revealed that his father was likely protected by a network of corruption involving the LAPD, the District Attorney's Office, and powerful Hollywood figures. George Hodell wasn't just a doctor. He was connected to an underground network that included illegal abortions, pornography, and prostitution. Several key witnesses died under suspicious circumstances. Evidence disappeared, and investigators were reassigned. The Black Dahlia murder wasn't just a crime. It was a cover-up that exposed the rot at the core of Los Angeles' power structure. Even more disturbing, Steve Hodell's research suggests his father may have been responsible for other murders in the area, making Elizabeth Short just one victim in a larger killing spree. The surgical precision that initially seemed like evidence of medical training? It may have been practice. Today, over 75 years later, the Black Dahlia case remains officially unsolved. The LAPD still receives tips and confessions, but the physical evidence has long since degraded or disappeared. Elizabeth Short's killer took his secrets to the grave, but the case continues to fascinate because it represents something larger, the dark side of the American dream, where a young woman's pursuit of Hollywood stardom ended in unimaginable horror. The case has inspired countless books, movies, and theories, but the truth may be simpler and more disturbing than any fiction. Sometimes the most obvious suspect really is the killer, protected by a system designed to shield the powerful from consequences. Elizabeth Short came to Los Angeles looking for fame, and in death, she achieved a twisted form of immortality that she never wanted. But here's what nobody tells you. This case is directly connected to something even more disturbing. And that story? It's right here. Subscribe and hit that bell. A new mystery drops every single day.